Hello friends, let's take a look at Tezos. Tezos versus the Bitcoins, Tezos versus the dollar coins, and Tezos versus the Ethereum bobs. And if we zoom on into the charts, we can see a couple of things that we spoke about in brief on our Look Around the Markets episode today. I hope that you do enjoy that one. It's got quite a lot of stuff in there. Of course, Tezos on that one is right towards the end of it, so check it out. I hope you enjoy it, but we hope you get value from these episodes and hit that subscribe button and all that good stuff. And as you can see, it's sunny outside. I should really be enjoying that and getting some vitamin D. But if I just position my head just right, then the shadows across my eyes, I'm not blinded. I can just about make out the charts. Think it's a good enough time to go ahead, make today's videos, and see what's been going on. Thanks so much for tuning in. Looking at this chart here, we've got this fallen wedge, and is this going to be the salvation of the asset and this kind of sort of upward trend that we've had? Of course, we've just been rectangle for the previous 6 months. Will it kind of be the resumption of that and allow us to come in here and not take out these key areas that we're looking at over on the left, which will stick in another horizontal line for, just to, to say like these things are also again the next level of significance really right below us. Are we going to be able to do that or not? We come up and touched our red line that we had before. I'm going to turn that one to orange in this episode now. I mean, things aren't great, right? They're not great. We've been talking about this. But they're also potentially primed for being really great, okay? It just depends on how it goes. Now, we've got the full measured move off the back of this rising wedge, and we did it at this orange line. It would take us past our green line, going past the previous high over here at 25k, and coming up and really challenging a couple of these moving averages, and giving things like, the 21 and the 55 and the 233 exponential moving average all something to think about. And, by the time we did that as well, we'd also be coming in and testing the 50 and the 200 simple in there, and around about where they are, and you can see there's a slight downward curve on both of them currently, having had a death cross here in the 24-hour time frame for the first time properly really in the history of Tezos on this particular exchange. There was this little sort of kissing, hugging affair that happened over here, but we're really just over here at the start of September, sort of September the 10th, 11th or so. We saw these really diverge away from each other. Now, if we came in and retested it, that's at the very least what you can expect to happen. So not how you can expect to happen at the very least. God, that sounds incredible. What I'm saying here is that this is the common, if you're trading, to look for crosses on death crosses and golden crosses, and then that's obviously an indicator of the trend. But what a lot of people forget, who are maybe new to the game, or even experienced traders who kind of just get excited when they see something, is that you come in here and quite often retest these, and it's like when you kiss them and run away again, that you know that it's for real, in a sense. So if we want to see this happen, then like as we saw here, then will it come down and break through it again? But like towards the top side, so will it come up and break up the way again and get into this parallel channel and start looking positive and take out some of these targets towards the top side, such as our 618 retracement up there at 32,000? A huge move up from where we are now, almost 75% or so. Okay, so 63% from where we are right now. Is that on the cards, with this being the impetus to get us going, or do we indeed break down the way, going down all the way to sort of 12,000 and stinky numbers down below, such as the 618 over here if we had a 60% move? Now, if we did go for the 60% move towards the top side, that just really takes us into where our previous orange line is at 24k, but that will be okay, because if we did that and then took let's just clone this thing and spin it around and then went down the way thereafter, then between these zones, that's okay. If we get if we have then this higher low, and then we break through significant resistance, come up here with the option of putting in a higher high anywhere around this territory, taking out this previous high, yada yada along the way. So those are kind of your two options for us in terms of that one. Let's move on. That's what we're looking for at the minute. Anything beyond that, we're just talking about this red line here and movements down the way, and I could talk about things from a short perspective perspective. Let me know in the comments down below if any of you short this thing ever, if it's just me that does that from time to time. Of course, I am what you could say a believer in Tezos and all the rest of it, but I'm also a trader and I have experience enough to be able to do this both ways. But perhaps a lot of you out there are interested in me talking about these sorts of movements as having been positive and whatever. But this is what we're looking at: this divergence on the MACD combined with this wedge here, with this potential towards the top side, and we see the DMI indicator here kind of have a turnaround at this 30 area, like we've seen once and twice and whatever in the recent past, and then perhaps give the positive its chance to run, with it having come down really as low as it ever has done on this chart here versus Bitcoin. I mean, that's what we're looking at. Moving on. Same story, by the way, in terms of, all this chat here, like the depth of the DMI, the potential for this to turn around. Well, it is a little bit shallower here. It's not divergent between these lows, neither is the RSI or the Stochastics. It's almost, but it's not. You have it on the MACD, which is combined here with our shape, our pattern. That red line's slightly off, but doesn't matter. And we've had a good move. Yeah, and this is like, by the way, this is in terms of trading this thing long on short and all the rest of it. Again, just to reiterate here, looking at the price action we had yesterday, if you just get the measuring stick out and coming from these lows, which you had this line here at, for we have this line from the because we moved it to here when we had to do a Fibonacci retracement, but that's what that line is. But if you'd got in it around about those areas at 191, so if you say you just tuned in and it was sub $2 and you thought you'd take a trade on it, and then you decided that you'd get out around about where the 236 was coming in from that low that you'd just drawn in the in terms of this little retracement, this smaller term Fibonacci here, as you can see the 236 just there. If you decided to get out profit wise there, then you're looking at 11.5% towards the top side. That's great. And there's plenty of different ways of doing this where you get a huge chunk of profit, whether that's just 7% or something like that. So since then we've come back down the way, and we'll have to go down the time frames to see how this is shaping up. And as you can see with the 4 hour, didn't actually manage to open and close up above it really, apart from this doji candle. So you can negate all the benefits of that just in the shape of the thing. It was a bit of a hammer there, and then we came down the way, and look at this, we were also suppressed by the 21 EMA. Now if we were to do this a second time and move up above it, we'd be doing 2 for 1 here, and perhaps then we could find support there afterwards and get a higher high in, with this being a higher low and that being convergent down below on the oscillators, or not. Right? Or not, in which case 191 becomes that area where it wasn't such a good buy after all, etc., and you'd be looking at that being visited again. The pitchfork we have on here, which is a shift, should be an inside one really, actually, sorry, on this chart right now, is showing us that the resistance thereafter comes in at around about the same sort of area of our wedge. Fake out zones from that could be sort of considered to be, let me just use the brush for this one. Fake out zone's going to have to come down into like this sort of territory here. Fake out. Oh my God, I'm faking out. I'm not actually going up. But then if you do take out this area on the pitchfork and move up above the fake out territory, take out a higher high than this one, and then the next one in there at the 618 Fibonacci retracement at 252, things are very, 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 very good indeed. But that's what we're looking at. It's between these two areas. And a theory, Bobs. So, how are you doing, Theory Bubbles? It's the 4 hour time frame that we're looking at just now, and we have just kind of failed to capture the 21 EMA here on this time frame, as you can see just down there. Don't want to cover up myself, but no, I'm not. That's cool. Yeah, so over here, and we failed the 21 here. We tried to get it, but we came up and we were resisted by the 55. I think that's kind of going to speak for itself, that story at the minute. We're looking to see how we interact with these two lines here. Those price points being sort of 60,000 and 60,900 and 61,000, so 61,000 and 64,000, let's call it, just for 63,500. 50 simple moving average in there as well. Let's see if we can do some of these sorts of things and take out perhaps one of these these horizontal lines here formed by these parallel channels that got stuck in the background. We've come down to the median line, come up. If we see resistance at this area, we'll at least have put in a higher high, and this could be positive. And looking at the action down below, then we'd be doing that without divergence potentially, and all sorts of good things. Or we would do see divergence on there, and maybe we do see the negative stance here that we have with the negative trend and everything continue. We came in, we had a kiss over here on the 22nd of September. Didn't actually manage to get the cross, but do we then cross subsequently, having had rejected on our first attempt of it just over here, or not? That's what we're looking to. Will all that happen? Will any of that happen? We had bullish divergence on the MACD just here. You could then maybe think of this as being sort of wedgie-tastic. It's not really that great of one, with its lack of this sort of narrow aspect. But where we've come from so far would satisfy a move off of that. I would like to see us come up and touch that 65k area so that we can really try to sort of get a trend on the go here. Otherwise, we're perhaps looking to perhaps, I said that's Franklish for you. Perhaps we're looking at a continuation of this down the way. So the 21 EMA coming in at the same sort of place on the daily time frame. The pattern of this thing with its potential to be either or still absolutely exists. We still have this, this is javelin like this or spearhead we've got on the go here on the MACD. I think speaks volumes for itself currently, and we've got this upward slope here on the stochastics overall for fairly all right. We've got this kind of class B bullish divergence here between these lows and the RSI. Plenty of things looking decent for us. But then also the overall acknowledgement that we've been in a downward trend, and that taking out the 58k areas, quite likely to lead to 53, and so on and so forth, where we get these 10% chunk moves down the way too. Okay, cool. Nice one. Going to catch you in the next episodes. Check out my Look Around the Markets episode today. It's really good. Remember to subscribe to Rocky Outcrop here and tell your friends, youtube.com/Rocky Outcrop, where you get 100% quality technical analysis there, as that little certificate thing proves. And if you want to take part of the Bitcoin giveaway, do so by saying Rocky You Rock or some comment to that effect in there. And what else? Yeah, that'll do. Thanks so much for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. See you next time.